Today we're going to take a look at the Siberian 85. This is a name that most might not have heard of, but a solid made cooler that we need to address. This is a Siberian 85. It's an 85 quart cooler that looks awfully similar to the other Roto molded coolers. But right off the bat, you'll notice the unique color. This is the Sandstone, and Siberian coolers come in either Sandstone or white. It's a sharp looking cooler, and it's worth noting that with all these coolers here, family members and friends that have looked at these coolers say this one looks the best. So take note of that. Very similar cooler, like I said, to the other coolers. But again, this one is a Siberian granite color, and the price of this cooler is about $380. So you're getting an 85 quart cooler for less than, say, a Yeti 45, which is only really 37 quarts. So you're getting way more bang for your buck. Be sure to visit coolersonsale.com. On our Siberian write-up, we do an exact comparison of what you're getting dollar for quart size compared to a Yeti versus a Siberian. On the outside of this cooler, you'll notice the latches are slightly different. This uses a T-latch but a peg system, so you're actually getting onto this peg. You're not pulling a ball into a latch, so slightly different in terms of the latch. These latches are replaceable if they ever do crack. Two screws come out and you can replace the new latch. On the outside, you'll also notice the 4 cup holder molded into the top of the cooler. No presence of a ruler on the outside, but a nice addition with the actual cup holders molded into the side. On the inside, you'll notice a different style gasket. This is actually a foam gasket. This is not the same you'll see in a Yeti or even a Grizzly where it's an actual rubber gasket. This is a foam gasket, so slightly different than, say, a Yeti or a Grizzly. On the interior of the cooler, very similar. I mean, it's pretty plain Jane on the inside, smooth, small drain field here, 1-inch drain. And on the outside, you'll notice the drain plug is almost identical to the Yeti 45 that we've already reviewed. On the outside, handles, rope handles. These are nylon rope handles with a plastic insert, so this is used for carrying. There are some small Roto molded in handle grips here, but again, they're very small. My fingers can hardly fit under there. So a solid made cooler by Siberian, and what's really worth noting is the price of this cooler. For an 85 quart cooler, you're only paying about $380, which is significantly less than, say, even a Grizzly or definitely a Yeti. Again, this Yeti 45 here is about $445, and here you're getting an 85 quart cooler for less money than a 37 quart cooler. So if you're looking for a solid deal on a Roto molded cooler, definitely check out the Siberian. If you're like, well, I don't know Siberian, how's it going to hold up with ice compared to a Yeti? Be sure to stay tuned for our 5-day ice challenge, where we see just how long the Siberian 85 can hold ice against the Yeti, the Grizzly, the Canyon, the Pelican, and the Igloo. 5-day ice challenge results for the Siberian coolers 85 quart. Really impressed with the Siberian coolers. I'm going to call this cooler the family choice. It just so happens that everyone in our family thinks that the Siberian cooler looks the best. Whether it's the color, the actual look of it, I'm not really sure, but everyone thinks it looks the best. I was a little bit hesitant to kind of push this cooler because of the foam gasket on the inside is different than the rest of the Roto molded coolers that we have here. With the rubber gasket, there's a foam gasket, and it's coming in at a significant discount compared to most of these other Roto molded coolers, but the performance shows. This cooler performed excellent, fantastic in the 5-day ice challenge. Handled 5 days, no problem. I would say this cooler would go at least another 2 to 3 days. Ice is about 50%, maybe 3/4 of the way up on a soda can when it's sitting on the bottom. The only thing that was a little bit strange to me is I struggled with the drain cap. It goes in about 50% of the way, and then it becomes a little bit difficult to screw in all the way. Drained incredibly well. Really happy with the performance of this Siberian 85 quart. Again, this thing comes in at a significant discount compared to the Yeti Tundra. If you take a look at the Yeti Tundra versus this, I would say that this actually held ice better than the Yeti Tundra, but this is also over double the size of the Yeti Tundra. So take that into consideration. We haven't seen much of a difference when we looked at the two Igloo 40 and 55 quart, much of a difference in terms of size and if that affects the ice retention ability. But the 85 quart definitely held ice better than the Yeti Tundra 45, which is actually only 37 quart. So if you're looking for a large cooler, an 85 quart cooler, I would definitely consider the Siberian Cooler because it held ice way better than I was anticipating. And again, I'll call this the family choice just because everyone in our family thinks it looks the best. Be sure to visit coolersonsale.com. We have a full write-up on the Siberian 85 as well as the other sizes available by Siberian Coolers. Again, solid performance in the 5-day ice challenge. I think we got another 2 to 3 days worth of ice retention out of this. That's been the 85 quart.